Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, is Queden Bayles 9 years old or is he 18 years old? Is his mom allegedly exploiting him on social media for money and clout? Um, are they going to donate extra money from these GoFundMe pages to charity like they've said? And is Queden actually a bully himself, allegedly? Find out here. Stay tuned if you want to know all the answers, because we're going to dig into it right now. But first, as usual, I've got to say, I am a licensed mental health clinician and also a spiritual intuitive. And in these videos, we always discuss the tea using the tarot. So, as always, these videos are meant to be helpful, not hateful, and if you're down with that, join the family. Let's get into this one, shall we? Alright, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know about Queden Bayles. There was a viral video going around of this seemingly a child who was crying in his mother's vehicle, talking about self-harm, and this video got spread out. Everyone saw it, totally viral. There was a GoFundMe that got started. It raised hundreds and thousands of dollars for this child, and it was intended to raise money so that he could go to Disneyland, Disney World, whichever one, in the States. Their family is from Australia, I believe. And then the extra money would be allegedly donated to charities, specifically anti-bullying charities. So, people have questions, because then a Facebook post went around showing photos of Queden in Gucci outfits, holding money fanned out, standing by a light with the number 18, and they basically said, hey y'all, you've been scammed. This is actually an 18-year-old Instagrammer who is famous and rich already, and he's an actor, so he just acted this out and he played you. And people went crazy over this. They're like, oh, we've been scammed, you know, oh, this is horrible, blah, 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 blah. People basically just want to know. They have questions. They want all the answers. And so we are going to look into that and dive into the answers, allegedly, today. But there are a couple things that have already come out, and so I do want to go ahead and make those known. First of all, there's already sufficient evidence that Queden is in fact 9 years old and not 18 years old. So that's not something that I'm going to spend time asking the cards today, because there's no point. It's already something that's got plenty enough evidence out there to support it. In fact, let me check my phone here, because I went ahead and screenshot a post on Snopes, you know, Snopes.com, the one that's supposed to debunk a lot of myths and things like that about this. And it basically said, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't want to read exactly what Snopes says here, but it basically paragraphed to say that the photograph for the number 18 that Queden was standing beside was posted after his friend Garland's 18th birthday party. So it's clearly shown that there's a message saying happy birthday for Garland, not for Queden. That's very visible in the photos. Also, this isn't the first time Queden has made the news. Snopes goes on to say in 2015 he was in the spotlight, and at that time he was only 4 years old, and he was in several different media outlets on the news in Australia, even making a show or documentary or something when he clearly is 4 years old, and that's 2015. So obviously, that being 5 years ago, if he was 18, then he should look 13. But no, he clearly looked 4, not 13. Also, down here it says that Yarica Bayles, Queden's mom, had posted dozens of pictures and videos on various social media accounts over the years, and in 2012 she had a series of photographs that showed him on the beach, and the photos were saying he was going on 15 months old, so just over a year old. And clearly, with that being 8 years ago, if he was 18, he should have looked 10 years old if he was actually 18 now. And you can tell the difference between someone who's a year and 3 months old versus someone who's 10. So clearly, there's been a lot on here that has already debunked, yes, he is 9 years old. He's not 18 years old. So that's not something we need to even bother to look into the cards over. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. Also, something that I want to bring up as a licensed mental health clinician, if the rumors are true that he is in fact already rich, and wearing all these designer clothes and things of that nature, how exactly does that mean that he can't be bullied? It's very clear that it doesn't matter. Bullying is just like with mental illnesses. Bullying is one of those things that doesn't really care about how much money you make, what your socioeconomic status is, where you're from, and all of that kind of stuff. You can be bullied and you can suffer the emotional side effects of bullying no matter how rich you are and who your family is and what your background is. That doesn't really matter. So I do want to go ahead and say that if he is a victim of bullying, allegedly, then my heart goes out to him for that, because it wouldn't matter if his family had money. It wouldn't matter if he was an Instagrammer, an actor, whatever. If he is facing those things, then the emotional toll that takes is still very real, regardless. So my heart does go out to the family for that. As for the other questions, though, boom, here we have the cards. There are some questions I do want to look into. Things that have not necessarily been debunked yet on the internet, and things that you can't really prove on the internet. So I want to look into the cards and see what they have to say on the matter. I want to know, is Queden's mom and family exploiting him on social media for attention and money, allegedly? And I want to know, is the extra money that's not used on the Disneyland trip going to be donated to charity? And then there are rumors going around saying that Queden is actually the bully, that at school he's the one that does the bullying to other kids. And there are allegedly parents of children who go to school with him that make those allegations. So I want to look into those things today, see what we can find out here. So, all right, is Queden's mom exploiting her son for money on social media, allegedly? Let's take a look into that. Ooh, okay. That's an interesting way to start this. Okay. Woo. Did a card flip over in here? Nope. Looked like a card flipped over, but not quite. So, let's go ahead and start with these. Let me push this up so you can see it a little bit better. why not? Alright, so here we go. What we're starting out with, apparently what this is saying is basically once Queden's mom realized that he had a medical condition that would make him different, that's when this happened. The tower in reverse is kind of saying like crumbling down on the inside. So it's like when people are going through something and they're like, what? No, this can't be. What's going on? And they're just kind of, it does them in on the inside. Everything on the inside just crumbles down. That's what happened. With the King of Pentacles upright, Hangman in reverse, this would suggest that there is a part of her, Queden's mom, that did want to bring awareness to this and get some sort of assistance from it. This is a money card. So there is a part of her, and I'm not saying whether this is good or bad necessarily, but there is a part of her that did see this as a means to getting some kind of money or clout or business agreements or something. Like, my child is special, my child is different, therefore we could probably use that to make some money off of it. That doesn't necessarily, I'm not going to go out there and necessarily say that that's a malicious thing. There are sometimes people use uniqueness to their advantage and find ways to make money off of that. I'm not going to necessarily say that's a bad, negative thing. But it is something that went through her mind some sort of way, good, bad, or indifferent. I'll let you, decide in your own opinions how you feel about that. So she was trying to turn what she considered a, kind of a bad situation into more of a positive. But this has in some ways backfired on her, because with the Queen of Wands, that's her in a reversed position. So it's saying that, this is something that she's done and it's been met with a lot of criticism. So, and I'm not even just talking about in this instance. I mean, in the 9 years of her operating this way, she has been met, I'm assuming by what the cards are saying. I don't know, I haven't seen it, I haven't been plugged into her life for the last 9 years, but she's apparently been met with a lot of criticism for coming at it that way. Let's get some more. Ooh, this card was flipping out. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Let's see what we have here. If we can further this conversation, if I could quit being picky about how these cards get up in here. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Okay. So, I will say, when we have the Ten of Swords in reverse here, Queden's mom has felt like she's been betrayed by people, backstabbed by people. She feels like her words have been twisted by people. She feels like her point of trying to make things known has been, for lack of a better word, bastardized and misconstrued. She feels very misunderstood. That's something that she's been reflecting on a lot about, and she, in some ways, kind of feels like, oh, I give up. What can I do and what can I say for people to see it the way that it actually is? To see that I'm not trying to use my son and exploit my son just for the sake of making money, but that I want to, through collaboration, that's this card, want to, put him out there on social media, put the message out there. I want the message out there. I want, anti-bullying out there. I want people to see that just because you're different doesn't mean that you should be picked on and it's not a bad thing and blah, 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 blah. So she does feel like she's been doing this for the right reasons, and that her intentions and messaging has been taken and twisted and manipulated into something ugly when it wasn't. She does feel that way. And so it does from this seem like, though she wants to use what's special and different about him to his benefit so that he can, make some money off of it, and she does support that and condone that, it doesn't seem like she is necessarily exploiting him just for money, that all she wants out of this is money, and she doesn't really actually care about her son, and she's just pimping him out for money or something. I don't see that. I see both, that she does want to gain some financially from his uniqueness, but that she does also want to use the platform to show that being special and different is a good thing, and that it shouldn't be bullied. So I'm seeing kind of both ways here, and you can take that for what you will on whether or not you think that is okay or exploitative. That's up to you. What I see here is her kind of looking out on her options all the time, and she may not be the most emotionally mature person out there. I think that she has some emotional things that she works on within herself as well, still having some emotional struggles as well. So you can kind of take that as you will. I'm seeing both sides here in the cards, if that makes sense. Let's ask another question. Why don't we? Let's get into some of these other questions, and let's stop flipping cards. Lord. Okay. So we want to know about the money getting donated to charity, and we also want to know if Queden is a bully himself. So let's look into that. Get some of this shuffled up. We'll shuffle one more time. If y'all like these kinds of readings and you want to see more like it, how about give the video a like and subscribe while you're at it. That was a shit shuffle. So, is the extra money going to be donated to charity? This should be a straightforward question here. Should be. Especially if I see the charity card kind of come up here, then that would be good here. Come up here, be good here, 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 here. Do I know English? Debatable. Oh, we got that same card here that we had in the last spread. Oh, snap. Oh, okay. Okay. I think we got our answer here. Yep, we have our answer here. Okay, so Queen of Swords energy, this is a very mental energy. This is just about, thinking, hey, we're having a situation here. Let's make the best of a bad situation. Let's think, what can we do with this? And Ace of Cups, starting something that's emotional. So starting a GoFundMe page, because emotionally this is starting a new chapter. This is somebody who was creating a GoFundMe page that wanted Queden to feel like he was loved and supported, and kind of so that he could see that from other people. This is kind of the Four of Wands in reverse, is kind of like not a happily ever after. So it's basically saying that because they saw these bad feelings, this negativity come up, those are the things that made them initiate this GoFundMe page. So that's a good thing. That shows that the GoFundMe page, whoever it was that started it, I don't know if it was Queden's family or if it was somebody completely unrelated to Queden, I don't know. But whoever started the page for good intentions, solid intentions. It was made to help Queden feel stronger, help him feel like he can be happy and playful and not worry about this, and that he's loved. The Sun card and the Seven of Wands card are good cards because the Sun card is kind of saying, the Sun card really is one of the best cards in the deck. I mean, there's almost 80 cards up in this deck, and the Sun card is arguably the best card in the deck. So this is really saying, yeah, we have the best of intentions behind this. This is not a scam of a GoFundMe. And with the Seven of Wands in reverse, that's kind of a giving up, giving in type energy. And so in this kind of a way, it's like we want to raise this money and then give it, give it in, whatever. It's hard to say through the cards. Give it up, give it in. It sounds weird, but that's what the card means, and so that's what it's saying. I want to just pull on this card. Yeah, so with the Chariot card being kind of an all stop, and the Death card in reverse being like kind of taking a while to let something die, like kind of letting it go on a little bit. This is saying that this is brought up because of the bullying, that they want the bullying to stop, and they feel like kind of not, people are out there not letting that go, not letting that end, the things that need to end, not letting it end. So there is a sense here, there is a conflicted sense, but I don't believe this is conflicted in terms of the people who made the GoFundMe page. It feels like this is conflicted in terms of the people around saying, well, is this a scam? Is this whatever? With this Death card in reverse, this could allude to the... Okay, I'm going to take this as a grain of salt. But with this Death card in reverse, it could mean that there may be some phony GoFundMes or phony accounts or something out there that are pretending like they are the legit account that could be raising money and be fake. So it's possible that there are people out there using this situation to scam, but I don't think it's the original GoFundMe person, and I don't think that it's Queden's family, if I'm seeing this, correctly. I don't see that. So there is a potential for some scammy energy in there, but I don't think it's associated with those two folks, if that makes sense. So the big question of the day, the one that I want to take the time on, because we're 22 minutes in, is Queden a bully himself? Because I've seen those allegations get thrown around. Parents of kids that go to his school saying, dude, he's the one, screwing around with other kids and causing problems. And now when somebody does something back to him, he cries about it and calls it bullying. So what is it? And he's the initiator, the instigator, is what some comments going around are saying. So let's look into that. Is that true? Is that true? Oh, a card fell out. Okay. Then I'm going to pull this one first and this one second. Okay. Because the card fell out. Okay. Ooh. Huh. This is gonna be interesting. Okay. We're gonna pull more cards on this. This is just to get us started. So, this card, remember, came up as it related to Queden's mom, right? And remember when it came up, I said she may not be the most emotionally mature, the most emotionally developed person out there, which is okay. Not everybody is. But it came up again for him. So this is a familial link. And it shows that emotionally he's emotionally immature and has a lot of emotional development left to go. Now, before we use that as a bad thing, let's remember he's 9. He's a 9-year-old boy. So if he's emotionally a bit immature, emotionally not completely as strong as he could be, maybe he doesn't take the high road with every response emotionally yet because he's underdeveloped in that arena. Some of that can be due to his age. And so we want to be fair to the kid with that. He's 9. I know a lot of 50-year-olds who aren't mature emotionally. He's 9. With this 8 of Cups in reverse, this is a permanent walking away. So remember that viral video that just went around and he was talking about self-harm and he was talking about permanent self-harm? This is the permanently walking away card. That wasn't a lie. He really has those thoughts and he really has those feelings. That's not a lie. Which is sad to me. Very sad to me. The Page of Wands is a messenger saying, okay, what I'm about to spit out to you now is a message. So listen to the message kind of thing. So here we go. The message is starting. He's not getting everything that he wants and needs in an emotional sense. He doesn't feel the support and love from his peers that he wants to feel from his peers. That is true. With the 10 of Pentacles in reverse and the moon upright, this means that there are some hidden secrets here. So the fact that they were only bringing up the Queden getting bullied, but other people started bringing up the possibility that Queden himself is a bully. That's what this is. These are secrets here. Here's some secrets. Here's some things we're keeping hidden that we're kind of keeping under lock. So what this tells me is it is true, as we've seen from these cards, that Queden is getting bullied. And it is true that he does feel these actual, true emotional feelings from that. He does have times where he thinks about permanent self-harm. And he does feel like he's not getting the love and support from his peers that he wishes he could. All of those things are true. So I do see that he is a victim of bullying here. But with this moon card upright, saying that there are some things hidden, there are some secrets here, this does tell me that it's possible he could also be engaging in bullying behavior himself and that they were keeping that part hush-hush. That his family would know if they've gotten calls from the school that he did or said something to other kids that wasn't okay. The parents would have been told about that. They would have been included in those discussions. Let me pull some clarifiers on this card out of curiosity. Here we have that King of Pentacles card again. Woo! And we got cards jumping and falling everywhere. So we got that King of Pentacles card earlier when we were talking about Queden's mom. Okay, so this is taking a bit of a turn with these 3 cards. I'm going to pull these 3 cards here off to the side because I'm going to get to these 3 cards in a minute. Here, let me put them like this. I'm going to get to these 3 cards in a minute, but they're taking us on to a bit of a new subject matter, and I just want to finish this one that we're on first before we get into this new subject matter. So let me just finish this one about whether or not Queden is a bully to himself. see if we can get more answers about that. Okay, now we have the Hangman upright this time. Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Here we go. Ooh, okay, yeah. Shoot, flipping over. Alright, so, yep, okay. Okay. So, what we're seeing as I yell. Okay, so when we said that there were some secrets and that part of that could be that he may engage in bullying behaviors himself, what I'm seeing here with the Hangman in reverse, that's kind of like, okay, hold on, take a pause for a second. Let's pause and think about this before we start running away with, yep, he's a bully. Absolutely, we knew it. And let's think about emotions. Queen of Cups in reverse. Let's think about emotions. There are some cold emotions in there. Queen of Hearts or Queen of Cups in reverse sometimes can be cold emotions in there. So yes, he sometimes can do callous things or say callous things to other kids. That is true. However, with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, you see this going on there in the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is an unequal distribution of power. That's something that happens in a bullying dynamic all the time. One thing that I think is important to notice, to mention, again, I'm a licensed mental health clinician. People use the word bullying a lot when the word should be harassment, and there is a distinction between the two. Bullying is only bullying if there is a differential in power. Somebody who has more power in some kind of way doing something to somebody with less power, bullying. Two people on the same level, the same playing field, going back and forth, or one person going to this person, one person going to this person, you know, if somebody's blah, 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 to somebody on the same power field as them, then that's harassment. Both bullying and harassment are bad things. So I'm not saying that bullying is better or harassment is better. They're both bad things. I'm just saying that people are quick to call bullying when something's not bullying, something's actually harassment. And this is where that becomes important. Because with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, doing this, saying that there's a differential of power, yes, he does get cold and emotionally towards other students, and does say or do things that are not, you know, good things to condone, things that could get a child in trouble for doing or saying to his classmates. That's true. But remember the balance of power here. If he has a medical condition that causes him to be drastically different in size, different in his physical makeup and ability to, you know, like if he's a small statured 9-year-old with a medical condition, he's going to be less physically strong than the other 9-year-olds who are of average health with no medical conditions. There's things that are going on with him that puts him at a power imbalance with the other kids. Therefore, if they are doing things to him over and over and over, that's bullying. If he's doing things back to them, say in retaliation, or because he's feeling vulnerable, or he's feeling picked on, or he's feeling like they're the cool, you know, beautiful, normal kids, and here I am like this, you know, then what he's doing back would not be considered bullying. That it would go under harassment. And so, again, neither are okay. Neither are okay. But the distinction with the power imbalance there, Spirit is obviously giving us the card to make a distinction there, because there is a power imbalance. And so whatever he's doing to other kids, it looks in here is that it's in response to that power dynamic, in response to feeling like I'm really different, I'm not one of them, I don't belong, look at me, look at them, all of that, and how he gets treated versus how they get treated. Because, again, people may not realize, but there's going to be bias and things like that, and how people get dealt with. People that look the part and are passing to be, average and normal. You see how much I'm air quoting. Things come easier to them. People talk to them differently. People look at them differently. People think about them differently than when you see someone who is different. Ask anybody who grew up, say, with a disability, someone in a wheelchair per se. They'll say, yeah, I am a normal human being. I am a good human being. And yet people looked at me and talked to me and treated me and thought of me differently just by first glance because I was in a wheelchair, And so those kinds of things do affect people and do come into play. And that is something that's coming into play here. So what I'm seeing is that his mom is trying to stand up for him, that this is a card that suggests victimization, and so she does think of her son as a victim, and the cards wouldn't come up like this if it wasn't the case. So he does get victimized. And with the Lover's card in reverse, this is kind of going at what we were saying about trying to understand here the difference, trying to understand the imbalance of power, trying to understand those dynamics, because it doesn't always come across. So, yes, I do see that Queden does things that he shouldn't, or says things that he shouldn't, that are harassing types of actions or words towards others. But then I also see that there are other things to consider, again, with the bullying and the imbalance of power, that this could be because of him feeling hurt and feeling like he doesn't belong and feeling like I'm tired of everybody looking at me and treating me different and patting me on the head and calling me things and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like that mosquito bite effect, where you get one mosquito bite and it's not too bad. You get another one and you're like, ugh. You get another one and you're like, damn, stop. And you get another one, you're like, stop. And even if the last one was just another tiny bite, it wasn't anything but this, you're like, I'm through. Stop. Because you just can't take it anymore. And that's what happens. Things that people in some communities would refer to as microaggressions. Lots of little things add up, make impacts, and people, especially people who are underdeveloped emotionally because they're 9 years old, may not know how to cope with that properly and deal with that properly, and they may lash out and lash back, misdirecting their emotions and their anger, and handling it and coping in a immature way, because he's 9. He is immature. He's gonna be. So I see him needing help for this so that he can cope with things better and not actively participate in those types of negative behaviors back at his fellow students. But I also don't see that he is only a bully and it's the bully crying wolf now, because now the tables have turned and he's getting bullied and he can't take it. I don't see that as being the truth. I hope all of this makes sense. The reason why I pulled this off to the side is because, again, as we were talking about secrets and stuff hidden, and I said things came up that took us off course, I just want to tell you what those things were. We ended up with these 3 things: the King of Pentacles upright, the Magician in reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles upright. So again, with the kind of hiding things, this came up earlier in Queden's mom's reading about her, yes, wanting to, make some kind of financial gain off of him being special and different, whether that was good, bad, or indifferent, we discussed. And there is a part of her, this shows her successfully doing that and making good money off of him. which, because this came up under the hidden secrets part, that does make me feel kind of like, you know, towards the people who allegedly say that that's exploitative, you know, and that they don't like that. Again, you can see it both ways. You can see that a mom is just trying to make the best of a not so good situation, and she does want to get the word out there, and it is true that she loves her child, and she is trying to get the word out there, and she does care about anti-bullying and stuff like that. So all of that is true. I'm not taking that away from her, but there is more of an emphasis on a money and success piece that they're hiding. She doesn't want to admit, because here's the secrets card, she doesn't want to admit quite as much as she should about that being a factor, about the money being a factor. So the money, fame, and fortune stuff is more of a factor than his mom is willing to publicly let on. I'm not saying that that discounts all of the other things she says is true about her loving her son and her wanting to be a part of an anti-bullying movement. That stuff can be true while this is also true. And again, this is just alleged. We're talking about drawing cards just for entertainment, but that's what the cards are allegedly showing right now. So for those folks who kind of wanted more information on that, I hope that gave it to you. All right, what do y'all think? I really want to know what y'all think. Some of y'all probably have seen more articles or videos or you know, receipts on this than I've seen. So please fill me in the comments below. I'd really like to know what you think about it. If you want a private reading yourself, I do private readings with folks. I've done plenty to my subscribers here, and I'm very thankful for all of y'all who felt comfortable enough to reach out to me and get some readings, and folks have been very satisfied with that. You know, email me at beestalksandtarot@gmail.com. I have it right there on the screen, and also going to have it in the description box if you would like a personal private reading for you. We can do some video chatting and do that. And again, like and subscribe. See more videos like this. Get into the tarot. Alright, y'all. What do y'all think? Let me know below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.